Welcome to Call of Duty. This is the first game in the Call of Duty franchise, which was originally released in 2003 and more recently released in 2009 via Call of Duty Classic, which was available for the people who bought the Hardened and Prestige edition of Modern Warfare 2. And it's currently running on the Xbox 360. Now, you can also buy Call of Duty Classic in the store. I believe it's about £10 or about $15, something in that region. So if you want to check out the very first COD game which kind of popularized World War II shooters, that's probably one of the easiest ways to play it, aside from playing it on PC, which, of course, this game originally was designed as a PC game. So whether or not this is the most authentic way to play is besides the point. We're going to be taking a look at Call of Duty Classic today and seeing if it holds up today, and basically just giving it a play because it has been such a long time since I've played one of the earliest COD games, and this is the earliest COD game, even though it technically came out in 2009, like I already said. So this game is based in World War II, obviously, and what we're currently taking part in is something called Operation Overlord, where the Allies were invading France or Normandy. And before the 6th of June, the night before that, they dropped soldiers behind enemy lines. And we're actually one of those paratroopers which gets dropped. And we'll see a few more drop from the sky now. And that was to basically try and soften the defenses for the land-based invasion, which was, well, which still is the largest land-borne or sea-borne invasion ever. So quite interesting that we're partaking in real battles here, which is something I always thought was quite interesting about World War II shooters. Now, the thing which is quite different about this game is because it was based on, well, basically, the Call of Duty franchise came about from, believe it or not, kind of the people behind Medal of Honor and people that worked at EA at the time. They wanted to make a shooter which would dethrone the then popular shooter, which was Medal of Honor, and they pretty well succeeded with Call of Duty on the PC in 2003. And ever since then, it's kind of been a sort of a benchmark for console and, well, just FPS games in general, not just console games. So whether people like it or not, Call of Duty is actually quite an iconic game series, which is by proxy sort of tied to things like Halo and more recent games like even Apex Legends, because Respawn Entertainment are an offshoot of Infinity Ward, which are the people behind this game and the most recent Modern Warfare as well. So there's a lot of backstory to the COD franchise which potentially not that many people know about. So, you know, this game does go back relatively far. But playing it now today, it actually feels quite good. Like I already mentioned, I'm running this on the 360, and I'm playing it with a 360 controller, and it feels quite good, to be honest. It's still quite responsive. It's running in 1080 60 frames per second, so it still holds up relatively well compared to recent titles. And I have to say, for a game which was ported to the 360 for a PC title, it's surprisingly smooth. Because COD is sort of known for being a console shooter nowadays, but it was originally a PC game, like I've already said many, many times. So it is quite interesting. So here you go here. Give that a read if you're interested in the sort of historical relevance. I'm sure the characters are probably made up, but we are partaking in real historical battles here, which makes this game far more compelling, at least in my opinion. Okay, here we are on the next mission. And what was that? Was it midnight on the 6th of June? So we're mere hours away from the land-borne invasion taking place. And all of the landing crafts meeting the beaches. Utah, Omaha, Sword, Juno, Gold, all of them. The whole lot. I don't know which beaches we're behind, actually. But I think I've spoken enough about the historical relevance of this game. Let's actually talk about the controls. So you aim with the left trigger, you shoot with the right trigger, which is pretty standard. But the main thing about this game, which is different to all the other COD games, is that you can carry 3 weapons. You can carry one primary, a secondary, well, which can be any other primary gun, And then you've got your other secondary, which is your pistol. And that can be any pistol. So you could pick up a Luger, for example. But you can't switch your pistol for another rifle or assault rifle. And then you also have a grenade. So you actually have to switch to the grenade, which makes it more of a, what would you say, like a thinking man's game. You can't just hit the grenade button. The grenade button actually cycles between your weapons. So that's kind of like a sign of the time. Before we had the sort of quick movement and an emphasis on fast combat, the Call of Duty the Call of Duty gameplay loop was pretty slow. And this game actually has no regenerating health. You actually have to pick up health packs from around the missions. You can see in the corner there on the right-hand side, when your health goes below a certain amount, I think when it gets to like dark red or orange, you actually don't regen health at all. So here we go. We can switch the Colt, the Luger, and there we go. We've switched it. So there are quite a few different aspects of this gameplay which are quite different. Let's actually try and get a grenade over here. Now, regenerating health was replacing health packs for the first time in Call of Duty 2, which I'll also take a look at in a future video. And the main reason they turned on regenerating health opposed to these things was because there were so many hit-scan weapons hitting you at the same time that it was kind of difficult to... Did someone just charge at us then? That it was kind of difficult to have the game be fair because you constantly had all of these bullets hitting you from miles away, that regenerating health just made the most sense for the gameplay and made it so that you could have much bigger, wider levels with more enemies. Because if all of these people were shooting at us in one go on Call of Duty 2 and we had health packs, it would be difficult to progress. You couldn't take as many hits as you can with regenerating health. So that was the main area. And another thing as well, with the directional pad, you can actually move side to side. I don't know what you'd call that, sort of shifting side to side, but you're staying in one place. You're not actually moving your character. So that's something that's kind of in Modern Warfare. You'd sort of mount your weapon and you can lean. There you go, that's what it's called, leaning. So leaning's a thing in this game. And one of the things COD does, which I've always thought was really cool, is it gives you other people. So you're not a one-man army. You're sort of a small cog in a big machine making each battle happen. And you can see all your fellow soldiers. And I think their health is displayed by the colour of their names. I'm pretty sure that guy just died and he had like red or orange health. So you can see, yeah, he just took some damage. So he's dead. And you can see the names as well, which makes it slightly more impersonal, I suppose. Or not impersonal, I should say. We're actually going to try and get a grenade in that doorway there. And you can pick up ammo for the weapons. That doesn't happen automatically. Another thing which sort of slows down the gameplay compared to more recent COD games. Even the one immediately after it. I should say. And that is about it. I mean, I could talk about the history a little bit more, but I think that's probably something for a whole dedicated video. Talking about the history of this game it is something that's been done quite a lot, and I don't want to talk about it too much in this video here without actually doing a dedicated video, which I probably will do, a documentary on this at some point. So we're going to try and pick up some more health packs. I don't know if you can actually store the health packs. It has been quite some time since I've played this game. I wonder if you can pick these up. No, you can just use them. Okay. Because there are actually a few mods for this game on PC. I forget the name of the mod, but there's an expansion pack which is official, and then there's a mod which kind of gives you a load more levels and basically gives you more missions, more guns, and things like that. So it does actually increase the replayability. So this Call of Duty Classic is perhaps not the best way to play the first COD game. Certainly on PC, and playing mods might be the best way to go. And I think I actually might endeavour to do that. It would be quite interesting to sort of do a juxtaposition between this on console and on PC. Because I think on PC it's in 4K, 120 FPS and all that sort of thing. So it's probably quite a different game. Especially with all the mods and additional DLC. Which was added to the game. Because like I said towards the start of the video, Call of Duty was a PC game to start with. So I guess playing it on PC is probably the way it was intended by the developers. Ooh. Grenade. But again, like I always say in these types of videos, if you want to see like a full walkthrough... Oh my god, we got like 5 of them there, or 4 of them. If you want to see a full walkthrough of this game, please do let me know down in the comments, because these videos that I'm doing on these games individually are all meant to sort of give some old games a new lease of life, so to speak, and sort of look at things from a new perspective, or a, you know, an old game in a new light, because a lot of them have been added to backwards compatibility and things like that. And especially with something like the MCC, you can go back to quite old classic games and see them in new frame rates, in new resolutions, and that's just kind of something I want to explore. I find it quite interesting to go back to these games and sort of compare them to more recent titles, especially when they've been remastered in games like this, Call of Duty Classic. So I'm definitely going to be giving a look at the Finest Hour version of this game, which was on the original Xbox, and I believe the PS2 as well. So there's all different versions of this game that we can take a look at. I don't know how similar Finest Hour is to this, but it is like a port of the PC game on the 7th generations of consoles. Is it the 7th or is it the 6th? I think it's the 6th, the original Xbox and PS2. So there's plenty of COD games for us to take a look at in the future. And it's only appropriate that we're checking out the first one first. So the next in line is probably the PC version of this and all the mods that are available for it. Is that a good nade? It was a good nade. Look at that. But that is... Oh, he just spawned out of nowhere. But that is the aim of these videos, you know, just sort of looking at old games, seeing how they hold up. And I actually, initially I wanted to sort of review them, but I didn't quite enjoy it the same way. You're sort of just playing things and having this sort of first impressions type feedback in the video is, I find, far more interesting to watch, because when people review things, you know, it's quite sterile and it's based on my opinion that I've sort of formulated after playing it for a few hours, and I just prefer the off-the-cuff nature of these types of videos. You'll have to let me know in the comments if you like them. They seem to be going down quite well on the second channel, which is good, because I really do enjoy making them. We're going to actually die here if I'm not careful. Is that health? Oh, that's ammo. We need to blow this guy up. There we go. Oh dear. Gonna have to get away. I can't get away in time. Don't kill us. Oof, that was close. That was damn close. I think we've just finished the objective there, have we? Meet at the crossroads. There we go. So yeah, this was also one of the very first games to include voiced AI characters. And I believe at the time, the AI was actually quite good. You know, the technology behind the enemies and your allies was decent. You know, now they might get in the way and seem quite annoying, but at the time they were really quite good. And they helped stage pretty big battles. So that's Call of Duty Classic, fellas. If you have any questions or queries about this game, please do let me know down in the comments. But that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching. Join me next time where we'll check out the future COD games like Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty Finest Hour, and Big Red One. But for now, that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.